New Zealand and Kiwis shouldn't be seeing it as the migrant workers aren't our problem, they should go home. The reason why this country is my home and so many other migrant workers' homes is because of how at home we are made to feel in this country.
It's always been a very tenuous thing to be a migrant worker on a short-term visa, not just in New Zealand, anywhere in the world. So we have to be compassionate. We have a leader in this country who has been very clear that she expects compassion. This community here is a compassionate community, but we have to be real that we are a small country at the bottom of the world, and our capacity for adequately supporting people is, especially at this time, limited. The majority of people are going to need to leave because there simply won't be enough work here in New Zealand for a year or two, certainly in tourism.
For me, it was really unfair. I lost my job the same day of the lockdown, even when my employer could apply for the subsidy, but he made my role redundant in the worst situation. I lost the opportunity to get the subsidy, I lost the opportunity to get another job, and I just had 4 weeks notice to survive, but now the 4 weeks notice are finished, so at the moment I don't have any income. So luckily I'm with Sebastian so he can support me, but it's still hard.
At the moment I'm still working at New World, but I have done everything for get a job with my career as an electrical engineer, but it's impossible.
I've lived here for 3 years or so now and would class New Zealand and Queenstown especially as my home. COVID has kind of just felt like the rug has been pulled from underneath us, really. As much as this has felt like my home for 3 years, the realities are it isn't on paper. So it's definitely nerve-wracking at a time like now. So it's just trying to figure out ways to stay.
I've seen a lot of people write, just go home on Facebook posts and stuff like that, but they don't understand that we've moved here and now this is home for us. Even if it hasn't been made a permanent residency or anything yet, we have built our home here and our community here, and it's not just as easy to go home. Go home to what? We don't all have, family homes to just move back into. I don't want to go back there. Definitely not now anyway. The UK, I think it just looks like a shambles from where I'm standing, and I'm glad to be on this part of the universe instead.
Well, I think we've got to remember that the migrant workers played a massive part in the development of the tourism industry, not only here in Queenstown Lakes, but right around New Zealand. They were the folk that tended the bars and the restaurants and made the beds in the hotels and the motels. And so I think we've got to be careful that we just don't turn around and say, sorry, we don't need you anymore. We do owe them a debt. So to just say, well, sorry, we haven't got a place for you here and we're not going to help you is a bit rich. We've got people who have been here for years and years, as I said, are very much part of the community, and maybe they will stay. But then there are the short-term working holiday visa holders who I think we've probably got to say goodbye to. Council's got about 9,000 names on its database of people asking for assistance. Around about 2/3 to 3/4 of those are migrants. I would say between 5,000 and 6,000. This is not an easy situation.
It's going to be so sad because there's some people who have been here for a decade. They feel that this is home now, rightfully so. They've probably come as young people. They've stayed, they've had children here, they've got relationships here with people, but New Zealand's never promised them permanent residency in the type of roles they're in, and that's the thing that's so sad. For those people, they've got some hard decisions to make now.
Many migrants have lost the hope of staying in New Zealand.
For Colombians, it's really hard to come in here because we don't have work and holiday.
Yeah.
So if we want to come in here, we need to save a lot of money or ask to the banks.
It's like a failure for us because we make a lot of effort to come here, like we spend a lot of money, and we are in the other extreme of the world. It's like frustrating, like I couldn't achieve my dream. Yeah.
We came here, we all grafted hard. We decided not to go home through this. We really want to be allowed the opportunity to ride this wave out together and to continue to work in this country and work towards rebuilding the economy. I think it would be unfair to turn your back on the migrant workers that have decided to stick, regardless of the things that were wrong in this town or in this country or in this world prior. Let's hit reset and all figure out a way together on how we can fix it. Whether you liked it or not beforehand, we're all one big community. We're all the locals of this town.